Hello everyone, my name is Max. This is my new channel, The Unapologetic Apologist. I'm an aspiring Christian apologist. In case you guys are wondering what that means, I'm just someone that gives a defense for the Christian faith that comes from the concept that we see in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. The Apostle Peter wrote to basically always be ready to have a defense for the reason for the hope that is in you. That Greek word is apologia for the word defense that he uses. So that's where we get the word apologetics, in case anyone was wondering about that. And the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, essentially, is that I feel like in this world we've had a major shift in kind of the culture and the way we think about things, and we're seeing the fruits of it, especially in America, where I live. It's become a lot more secular. People have been moving away from God and trying to do things their own way, and we're seeing the fruits of that. It hasn't really amounted to anything. If anything, our society has become much worse in the way that we do things, the way that we think, the way that we act. And the reason for that is we've removed Christianity from our way of thinking, or from our culture. And I think the reason why that has happened is I feel like a lot of Christians let that happen. Jesus said we're the salt and the light of the world. But, if our light is dimmed and we haven't been the salt, which salt preserves, then obviously things are going to decay. And I think the reason for that is with the rise of secularism, a lot of people have thought that, we don't need Christianity. We can do things a better way. We could do things without God. And it's just not happening. And I feel like a lot of Christians have been afraid to keep preaching the gospel and to keep preserving our Christian culture and our Christian heritage in Christianity as a whole, because I feel like they've been told that everything we believe is a lie. There's no good reason to believe what we believe, and so we've almost become afraid to defend it, and if not defend it, just give it up altogether. When in actuality, we do have really good reasons to believe. I mean, our whole faith is based not just in blind faith, but in evidence. I mean, even the Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians 3:15, in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, that without the resurrection, our faith is vain, it's futile. What we believe is just a sham. So with that, he's basically saying we believe what we believe because of evidence, not because of blind faith, like most, new atheists or people will tell you that faith is just believing in something you don't know is true. That's quite the opposite when it comes to Christianity. We have really good evidence and really good reasons to believe what we believe. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is just show that Christianity is true and the reasons for that. And I'll be making lots of content to show that and everything that goes into it. And, to start off, I'll probably, start off with the basics, just, Christianity 101, just basic concepts all Christians believe. But then go into other objections and certain things that come up that people will use as a way to attack Christianity. Because, the thing is, a lot of times people are afraid to preach the gospel because so many people have been trained to question Christianity, and a lot of questions some Christians just never heard before and don't know how to respond. And so they're afraid to preach because they're afraid of what people will say and they don't know how to respond. So if you have good responses, you'll be able to give a good defense, and we'll be able to defend Christianity in a way where we could preach the gospel without having to be afraid of anything. Or afraid of objections. And so with that, I feel like as we do that, the culture will improve. Everything in life will improve, but most importantly, you'll improve. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father except through me, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free, right? There's freedom in truth. When we know the truth, we have freedom. And because of that freedom, everything else slowly gets better. If individuals all have this freedom and all have this saving grace and all have been transformed from the inside out, you're going to see the fruits of that in society. But it all starts with the individual. So my big goal is to change the individual from the ground up, and you'll see the fruits of that not only in your life, but also in society. And so I've been seeing a shift recently in the culture. I've been seeing the shift in how people are viewing Christianity. And my big thing is, all right, let's take that and let's run with it. because I've seen the last few years and I've just seen such a decline. It almost kind of has you give up, on the hope. You're like, oh my man, I don't know. I don't know how this could get much better. But God always has a way of bringing revival and bringing life into things that seem lifeless. And so I've been noticing a shift. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's take this and run with it, right? Because I've seen the fruits of the secular world, and you're kind of seeing people starting to move away from that. And my goal is to make sure we move in the right direction. Okay, we're moving away from secularism. Let's make sure we take what works and run with it. So I want to make sure that everybody's equipped and well prepared to answer objections and to know Christianity, but also, most importantly, know Jesus, right? Jesus is the one who sets us free. Without Jesus, we don't have anything. So like I said, I'm going to be putting on a lot of content here, and I hope that God can use me to help uplift people and to help spread his word, just like in the Gospel of John, where John the Baptist said, let him increase and let me decrease. I don't want to be known. I don't want to be famous. I really don't care about people knowing me. I'm so unimportant in this whole equation. The idea is let Jesus increase, let me decrease, let me be forgotten, let Jesus be known. So I just want people to know Jesus, in the saving grace that we have in him. And I hope that everybody can experience that. And I would love to see the fruits of that in our society and in people's lives. But ultimately, I want to see everybody in the kingdom of heaven. I don't want anybody to miss out on it because they were ill-informed. So I'm going to be putting a lot of content, as I put things out. If there's certain things you guys want to see or certain things that you guys want to know. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for a pretty long time. Not necessarily apologetics, but learning, absorbing information. I mean, I've read the Bible, specifically the New Testament, countless times. I mean, I don't even remember how many times I ran through it. From cover to cover, I've read the Bible at least 3 or 4 times. So I've a nominal understanding of Hebrew, but I've studied Greek pretty close. I mean, I have a pretty good understanding of Greek, which is what the New Testament was written in. So I have a pretty good idea on what I'm talking about with a lot of things, especially when it comes to theological things or stuff like that. So, and I don't claim to be an expert in everything. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. And if I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. Like if you ask me a question on something I'm not familiar with, I'll be like, hey, you know what? I don't know enough about this. Let me refer you to somebody who does know. But the things that I do know, I'm going to let you guys know. And what you do with that information, that's up to you. If you think what I'm saying is all lies, that's fine. Look into it yourself. I don't claim to be an expert. If I'm saying something that's wrong, call me out on it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll accept that. But I feel like there's a lot of things that what I do know, I know pretty well, and I'll just speak what I know on, and you guys do what you want with it. But like I said, I just want to make sure that I'm doing my duty, as a Christian to disciple the nations. I want to make sure that I'm doing that. And if I'm, wrong, like I said, I'll more than welcome to accept that I'm wrong. So like I said, I'm to keep everything short here and not get too long-winded. Like I said, I just want to make sure that I'm doing my duty here, and I will be putting out a lot of content here, and I hope that you guys like it. Hope that you guys can find it useful. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. But I'm very excited to share my knowledge here and to help grow the kingdom. God bless.